The government has announced changes within Environment Canterbury. The Regional Council will move to a mixed governance organisation, seeing 7 elected councillors as part of a 3-year transitional period from next year until 2019. Here's Jared McCulloch.
A shake-up for Environment Canterbury. Today the government announced plans to move the struggling Regional Council into a mixed governance body. Back in September 2009, the government stepped in after a joint letter from the regional mayors and districts raised concerns about Ecan's performance, with an independent review group set up to investigate the situation. Now the Environment Minister says a further 3 years are needed to get the organisation back in shape and running as a full council.
The commissioners have done, in our view, an awesome job of getting into place both a natural resources plan and a land and water plan with a exercise that's going to take about a further 3 years with each of the sub-regions to complete that job.
The council will be split into 4 different zones around the region, with 4 councillors being elected from Christchurch and with 1 from all the other areas in North, South and Mid Canterbury. The review showed around 70% of consent sent to Ecan took far too long than legal maximum timeframes put in place, and was noted as the worst performing council throughout New Zealand. One of the main concerns was around water quality, with Environment Canterbury performing ineffectively towards managing the region's supply.
Water is just such a huge issue for Canterbury, that half the water takes in New Zealand are in this region, that a third of the hydroelectricity generation is in this region, over half the storage of hydroelectricity is in this region, and this region has some of the most critical issues around both nutrients and in terms of water quality.
Smith says the new mixed governance plan will help keep relationships with other councils and Ngāi Tahu strong, and will give time for Ecan to complete plans for the region's environmental future.
While the transition back to a fully elected council is important, we want to see that water job complete. And so the intention in moving to a mixed model in 2016 and a fully elected council in 2019 is to manage that transition. It is also the government's intention to retain the limited appeal rights on that water plan to ensure that they meet that deadline in 2019.
And the Minister says it's a positive step to get Canterbury back on its feet.
On the basis of the strong submissions that we received from the 10 councils across Canterbury, the government has made the decision that the legislation will move to a fully elected council in 2019, and it's also consistent with the announcements the Prime Minister made last week about the role of SERA in effectively transitioning overall governance in Canterbury back to business as normal by 2019.
Another review will take place in 2018 to see how the council is tracking before a full return likely the following year. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.